Yesterday, I had one of the most fascinating of dreams, and I, I'm almost like a dream harvester. That whatever dreams that I get, I try to write it down or speak about it. One dream that I had yesterday, that was 20th, 21st August 2019, was it was located in a place called Raichur. And Raichur, I've lived most of my life over there partially, and somehow my house was close to the railway station. So I have a lot of memories about the railway station and the places around, like the fort or the stream or the wells around the place. They've greatly impacted me over time. And this was one such dream that I had. It was kind of early in the morning when I got a call to go for a conference somewhere up in the north, and as I was getting ready, my wife Asha came to me and said, "Maybe you should take something for your journey." So I packed all my bags, and we came to the station, and there were a group of people who were waiting to come on that journey, and I did not know. It was so ambiguous. I mean, in terms to the trains that were running around, and I really did not know which train that I would take. But I would most likely take the train that would go from Raichur to Hyderabad, and then from there go to the north part of India. Maybe the conference was somewhere in Calcutta or somewhere. Anyway, I got to the station, and my wife came along, and there were trains running constantly, and I waited for the train. I inquired about the train, and so we kept waiting, and they said the train will come in a while. And after some time, my wife said, "Why don't you get something to eat?" So we walked out of the railway station and to the canteen close by, and I picked up a loaf of bread. And by the time I got a call, say one of my friends who was going to go on this journey, saying, "Come, the train is coming." So I immediately picked up the loaf of bread and started running towards the station. The minute I got to the station, and I wished my wife goodbye, and uh, by the time train had come, and so closely approached the train, and then once I approached the train, one of my friend from the train said, "Throw your bags in." And so I threw my bags in into the train, and and they said, "Come on, get on to the train." It, Generally, Raichuru is a station where trains tend to wait for a while, and somehow from the times of steam engine, it played a crucial role, and I was there, and the minute he said, the train began to move. And as the train began to move, I told my friend, "It's all right, I can run, jump into the train. That's not a problem." And he just kept saying, "Come, come, come, jump into the train." And then I told him, "No, I have enough energy in me to run and get into the train." And as the train increased its pace, I realized that I did not have that energy to run into the train. And as I was running further and further and further, for some reason I was not able to reach the train. Finally, I managed to hold the bars and jump into the train. It's a nightmare for me to run into trains, and it has often happened for me to. The chaotic things in my life are the worst of dreams are the ones where I am going to miss a train. But it so happened that just during that time, they started to search for my daughter, and they did not find my daughter. And so I thought when the people went into the train, she went along thinking I was on the train. But then I was so scared of whether she's outside or inside, and somehow wanted to search for her and managed to again jump out of a running train. It's a rare thing that I do. I did jump out of a train to look for her. But then my friend called me and said, "Hey, listen, your daughter is with us in the train." I mean, it just makes no sense to me that there's this whole chaos of I jump into the train, I get out of the train, and my daughter is still in the train. Anyway, I was so worried that I need to catch her, so I started running to the nearest place where I can get a bike. Maybe I could take a bike and ride all the way to Hyderabad and catch the train, because trains take generally a longer time than two-wheelers or four-wheelers. So I took a bike, and one of the local pastors around said, "Hey, listen, why don't I also come along with you?" And he had an electric bike. So we took the bike and started riding towards Hyderabad. As Hyderabad was approaching the about 40 kilometers into before Hyderabad, the bike said you need to charge it. And another chaos. Where will I charge this bike? And why did I take an electric bike? And knowing that I'm not going to reach the destination on time to get my daughter. That worried me a lot. Then after some time we got off and charged the bike at a local point. But that point I clearly knew the train would have passed Hyderabad. But anyway, we charged the battery for about 4 hours and then drove into Hyderabad. And then we realized the train had passed and it was already 4 hours past. And it was night time and I did not know what to do. The chaos continued to brew in my life. Am I going to miss my daughter? That I love her so much. She is only 3 years old. I need to rescue her. She needs to know where I am. I am her comforter. So I said, forget it. I really don't care. The train is going to Vijayawada next. And then to Vizag. And then I decided to fly from Hyderabad straight to Vizag. I didn't care about money. I didn't care about anything. I just cared about the relationship. I cared because she is my loved one. And then I got a ticket and I flew straight to Vizag, knowing that the train would come there the next morning. I bought my ticket, flew into Vizag, and I was there at the station, waiting. As soon as the train arrived there, my friends got down and handed over my daughter to me. I was so overjoyed to see her. Almost tears of joy started flowing down my eyes. And my daughter hugged me. This cute little girl hugged me and said, "Daddy, I missed you." And then I told Ruth, we're going to have another adventure getting back home. I'm not going for the conference anymore. My joy is you. So, what we did was, we got off the station. Since I had some money, we got a bike. I rented a bike. And we rode the bike all the way back to Raichur. And Ruth loves riding the bike. So she would sit on the tank and hold the accelerator and the clutch. And we both rode our journey back home. Well, that's my dream. But I'm just thinking about the chaoses of life. Dreams taunt us, they are nightmares. Often these nightmares tend to challenge who we really are. Maybe in real life we are missing trains constantly. Maybe we are confident we'll get on those trains. Not sure. We might get on that, we might miss those trains. We might miss the loved ones who are on the trains. We might search for them and never find them. Real life is such that we lose the loved ones that we have. But I think life is also about pursuing the one you love. But strangely, love has become so subjective that it does not make any sense. But the journey in life is all about pursuing something that you truly love. And so, with that words, I end my video blog of my dream, saying that continue to pursue because there's a destination, and at the destination, you will be overjoyed. This is the Delocalites podcast coming to you. Thank you for listening.